How's lads? As promised, top five apocalyptic films because we're in a lockdown and the world is going mental. And just to cheer you right up, before I start, there's a new. I don't know if it's new or not, but there's a series on Netflix called Creeped Out. It's really good. It's on the kids section. We're watching it with Lee yesterday. It's very good. It's very good. It's kind of like a stepping stone to horror. There's like this little guy with a mask who's called the curator, I think, or something like that. But he rocks up around and he picks up stories. Like an anthology, it's kind of like Creep Show or Twilight Zone, but it's kind of aimed at like teenagers. It's really good. Good stepping stone, as I said, for horror. Like it's an episodic TV show. They're not connected in any way, but it there's a story in, and he goes around collecting stories. And if you hear his whistle, that means something bad's going to happen to you. It's kind of like stuff with parents and like creepy neighbors, and it's really, 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 really good. It has like nice overtones, kind of like Inside Number 9 as well from the League guys. Uh, Very good, very good. It's kind of creepy in a childish kind of way. It's a good stepping stone if kids are like, I want to watch a horror movie, but you don't want to show them like, I don't know, Evil Dead. Start them on this, gradually build it up to maybe Poltergeist or something. But yeah, anyway, give it a watch. It's called Creeped Out. Creeped Out? Creeped Out. I think it's Creeped Out. Yeah, Creeped Out on Netflix. Creeped Out. It's English as well, actually. It's really good. American narration to start, which is very strange, with the little guy with the mask, but then it goes, they're all English stories. A lot of famous faces in it as well. A lot of English actors, Irish actors, you know. Anyway, apocalyptic films. It's happening. Yeah, we're in a lockdown. Hope everyone's staying safe. Hope you're washing your hands. But yeah, it's kind of a weird time. I've been thinking about it because the place seems like it's in an apocalypse. Like there's a couple of people going out, but bit of a lockdown situation. It's weird. Yeah, people are mental. People are going mental, hitting a bit of a wall. Anyway, but we're all good. We're all good. Animals here, because when it all kicks off, you want someone on your side who's a bit mental, but he'll be good for you. And Adam, if you want, and let's face it, if there's a zombie apocalypse, this guy's on my team because he'll just. Anyway, I was thinking about these films, and I've picked films I've watched. There's loads out there, but only ones I've watched. So I can not like just an overview. I don't want to review any of them. If you haven't seen them, I don't want to give you spoilers either. But we're going to start in the 60s with a Kubrick film called Dr. Strangelove and How I Learned to Love the Bomb. It's a film, it was kind of a satire around the Cold War and with America going to launch nukes, if you will. It's about a mentally deranged army general who was called Jack the Ripper. See what I did there? He believes he can order a nuclear blast against China. Oh, sorry, Russia. Yeah, it's Russia. I think it's Russia. Yeah. Without the authority of the president. He just wants to launch missiles. And yeah, it was very good. It's weird because there's no blood in it, there's no guts, which is kind of a smart way of kind of not satirizing the war, I suppose, because the Cold War was going on, a lot of paranoia going on at the time, and it was Strangelove. It's a weird name for a doctor, but he's General Jack the Ripper. He plays three parts in it. He's really good. It's a kind of a seller's showcase, but behind that, it's kind of showing the insanity of war and how utterly crazy and sometimes pointless it can be. Like, it's absolutely mental. It's really funny as well. Like, it's very, very funny. But it's kind of Kubrick pointing fun at like the Cold War and the inevitability of the stupidity that comes with war and how people are just terrifying. And then there's the famous scene where he rides the nuclear bomb down, which Homer spoofed in The Simpsons, where they had, woo! I can't remember what, it was really funny. But no, Dr. Strangelove, it's very, very good. And it shows how futile and silly men who want to go to war can be. They're all morons. Like, then we move up. The next one came out in the late 70s. Mad Max. Not Fury Road now with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. The original Mel Gibson, directed by George Miller. It's actually set in 2022, which is 2 years from now, which is fucking crazy. But the oil supply in the world has completely evaporated, and it causes a massive global war. It sets off a chain of events. It sets off like war, destruction, and eventually the nuclear apocalypse. It's really, really good. I remember a friend of mine was heavy into it, and I only saw it when I was around a teenager. But he loves it. Like, he still loves it now. But it's kind of like society has completely collapsed. It's just a wasteland. It doesn't explain why, but society is a complete wasteland. And it was originally supposed to be a silent movie. You can see which kind of came back in Fury Road. That was like almost like a silent movie. Very, very sparse. Like it's kind of very grunts and groans and all this kind of speech. Because everyone's kind of a bit sad, really, I suppose. Everything's kind of gone and no one has anything to talk about, so no one talks anymore. It's very mental. But then eventually it's kind of good guys versus bad guys, but then Max turns up, Gibson, and he kind of like a vigilante, trying to get revenge on the bad guys, because no one quite knows who did it. It's just basically humans have just ruined everything, like we're doing now. Yeah, kind of like we're doing now. But Mad Max, and then there was the second one, which is Beyond Thunderdome. We don't need another hero. But no, they're great films. Track them down. And Fury Road takes place, I think it's 3 or 4 years after 2022, so maybe 5 years time. I'm not quite sure of the timeline. But Mad Max with Mel Gibson and directed by George Miller. It's very good. Get it on Amazon, I'd say, or something like that. Anyway, now Kurt Russell. He is kind of like a man's man. Last of a dying breed, really. He has lovely hair, manly beard. Not like this. This is kind of embarrassing. Manly beard. Escape from New York. Snake Plissken. What a hero. What a hero. It's set in 1997, so it's a bit weird because it came out in 81, so it was set in 97. What John Carpenter believed what would happen in 97. The US has had an increase in 400% in crime. It's completely crime ridden, it's ruined. And Manhattan has been turned into a maximum security prison. Yeah, it's kind of ahead of its time. It's really good. Air Force One has been hijacked, and Snake Plissken is a federal prisoner in Manhattan, but he's going to be granted pardon if he can rescue the president. Excuse me. Such a breakfast, sorry. It was kind of thought about after the Watergate scandal with Nixon and the whole not a criminal. But Kurt Russell is Snake Plissken, and Carpenter directed it. It has a lovely banging soundtrack, which is basically just basically single notes on the keyboard, which is Carpenter's kind of forte. But it shows Manhattan, New York, America in a crime-ridden state. It's like 400% increase in crime, and Russell plays like the archetypal. It's phenomenal. Escape from New York, so good, so good. Number 4, Threads. It was a documentary made in the 80s. I want to say ITV, but I could be wrong. I want to say ITV. We saw it in university, and it is absolutely terrifying. It shows what would happen in the event of a nuclear blast on Britain. Fucking terrifying. 2 guys going to work, it's based around them. They're unloading the truck, going to a delivery, and they look up and see the nuclear bomb. The mushroom cloud goes up, and just, I know I shouldn't laugh, but when that happens, one of the guys pisses himself. And it's really funny because he just runs down his leg, but it's kind of, maybe it's just a nervousness of the thing, but it's really, really good. And the young Zach Dingle is in it. It was put out as a mockumentary and people believed it was real in England. It was murderous over it. It's called Threads. Check it out, it's really good. And last but not least, Will Smith and the coolest Alsatian ever, I Am Legend, which is based on a Matheson book called I Am Legend. I was in a film of that in university, by the way. But it was previously released in the 70s with Charlton Heston, I believe. The Omega Man. Yeah, I think it was Charlton Heston. It's about a guy who's Neville. I think of his last Neville. He's in a post-apocalyptic world which has been overrun by a zombie type creature. He's the only one left, him and his dog. Cities are completely sparse, completely bare. Kind of like now, which is really terrifying. But no, it's very good. It's I Am Legend. The ending is a bit, I won't give it away. The book ending is far better. Will Smith is really good. He just goes around surviving, basically, like the rest of us, getting by. So yeah, apocalyptic films, check him out. That was Doctor Strangelove. What was Doctor Strangelove? Mad Max, 81. 80 something, 70s. Escape from New York, Threads, and I Am Legend. Listen, bit mental out there. That was a bit of crack. I don't think there's apocalypse coming, obviously. Keep washing your hands. Stay safe. When this is all over, we'll meet up. Have a bag of cans. We'll get a few chips. Go for a walk around town. We'll shop local. And anyway, Animal says, wash your hands. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Don't be a gowl. A lot of people being gowls now. It's tough. It's hard. But we're going to get there. We've been through this before. Watch some films. Cuddle your family. Feed your pets. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And I'll talk to you again really soon. Enjoy.